They don't know. They don't know. Hello ninjas, my name is Kansiime and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today is the beginning of a very interesting situation on this channel. I've always wanted to write a book. Those things of like you're growing old, you feel you've experienced so much and you want to share your experiences in a book. There are people who told me you have to get a recorder and then maybe record like your interesting thoughts or maybe the things you remember about yourself. Keep recording now, you know, then in future when you get like a writer and you have money, you pay them, you give them those recordings and then they'll give you some few interviews. Before you know it, generally you have an autobiography like in a book. COVID and its lockdown has taught me that you cannot put anything off for tomorrow anymore. So I'm not going to be here waiting to get a writer, waiting to do. So here is my biography beginning today. So I've created this particular show, The Making of Kansiime, on my YouTube channel just to share my biography with you guys, because I'm not going to wait here for someone else to tell my story. So I'll tell it in chapters. And today's chapter is very simple. I just want to introduce to you who Anne is. In case you're meeting me for the first time, for those of you who know me, proofread, you know, copy notes, revise, see. Is this Anne that I'm going to tell you in this particular episode the same Anne that you know very well? See, comments are free. Commenting is for free. Subscribing is for free. So just subscribe and comment and tell me Anne Awolimbi. And if you're my OG or we've worked together or we bumped into each other, feel free to comment, say, oh, I remember that particular story. I'm hoping to capture so many stories in this new episode of The Making of Kansiime Anne, as in biography loading. My name is Kansiime Anne Kubiryaba. Kubiryaba is my father's name. Both my parents are alive. My father is Mr. Kubiryaba Chris. My mother is Mrs. Kubiryaba Gaudens. Yeah. My father was a banker. He's a retired banker. He's now a businessman. And my mother has been a stay-home mom for as long as I have known, and she has excelled at it. I mean, she raised me without killing me. That's something that you can give someone credit for, yeah? I was born with 5 other siblings. I am the 4th born. Our firstborn is called Asimwe Oliver. Works at the council in Kanungu and is also studying to go to space. She wants more qualifications, yeah, that's Asimwe Oliver. The 2nd born is Alan Linsdale in the UK. The 3rd born is Apollo Nwagaba, my big brother, who is an artist. He's a creative. His mind is always coming up with something new, so he's always on one thing, off to another thing, and that's the mind of a creative. So that's Apollo Nwagaba. I follow Apollo, and currently I am crazy in love with some Rasta boy, some gentleman called Skylanta. It's called Sky. Okay, his name is Abraham Tukairwa, but he is known as Skylanta and Sky. If you want to know more about him, then you can go to his YouTube channel at Skylanta and he will tell you stories. He's a very good storyteller as well. He'll tell you everything you need to know about him. Yeah, so that was me on 4th. We are supposed to remind each other. Then the 5th born is Shine Nyonyozi Angela, a very chubby, sweet, cute, precious sister. She's so intelligent. Too intelligent, too creative for her own good. I'm always speaking her brain. She doesn't know. She's where I'm going to know now. Where I make her have conversations that sometimes don't make sense for her. She follows me. And then our last born is Tarema Arnold. Tarema Arnold is the CEO of Tare Graphics. Tarema Arnold is the same gentleman that edits my skits of Don't Mess with Kansiime. He's into art as well. He's a photographer, videographer, animator. Well, hey! He knows everything. He's my YouTube guide. You know, I go to him for tips. And if you want to grow your YouTube, Tare is your guy. Tare will pay me for that advert. Yeah. So that's my family. From the firstborn to the lastborn. And then our beautiful parents. I went to Auntie Nora Nursery School. It was the only nursery school during that time in Kabale. It is in the 90s. I'm not good with years. So you, my OGs and my OBs and my people who I grew up with, who know that they can verify whether these stories are right and comment, you'll be correcting me. So I went to Auntie Nora Nursery School. It was the only nursery school me I know. Auntie Nora was the owner of the nursery school. We were in school with the twins, Antinora's twins, Katwa and Kakuru. They were my friends up through primary school. For primary school, I went to Kabale Primary School, KPS. Now, there were two KPSs in Kabale. There was a private KPS and then the KPS that I was in. Of course, I was not in a private school. So my KPS was Kabale Primary School. Then the private KPS was Kabale Preparatory School. The thing about Kabale Preparatory School, the students from that side, while we were all eating the same food, sweet potatoes, Irish, in the same town, what, somehow the kids that went to study at Kabale Preparatory School would come back with an accent. We don't know whether they ate it in their food. None of them, even their parents, didn't have passports or visas to go anywhere. They were typically Pachig. And for us in Kabale, we don't pass and say this on top of our words. We speak our words in capital letters. So when you're speaking, you have to show people you studied and went to school, and education was not cheap. So that's how we speak. And the education was more expensive because it was a private school. But they'll come back when they're eating their words. I remember, so that was a private school. I was not in Kabale Preparatory School where they were speaking with accents, yeah. I was in Kabale Primary School, yeah. Where you were beaten canes according to how late you are. If you are 15 minutes past the time to come, every minute was a cane. So it was up to you. From where we stayed, they would beat the first bell of primary. And I would run to school before the bell is done. So I was never caught late. But I know stories and I would see people being beaten till their bums were navy blue. I was in the choir right from the moment I entered school. I remember those were the days where Demo, that was actually the short name of our school, where Demo was so famous and popular at the National Theatre here in Kampala, would come and compete with other primary schools. I would go home with certificates as young as what, in P3, P4, P5. Primary was so cool for me. I was always performing from the beginning, never wanting to be behind. So this has been me since time in Malaria. Yeah? That was the era when the choir master was not a joker. I remember him throwing me through a window like 5 times, and that was like something that was okay. People of my size in the choir would end up being thrown. That guy would overreact. That's why I learned all the discipline of performance. You'd be singing a folk song and you're like, now, may you wave to the wrong side when others are starting from the right. My God. My God. The guy would carry, I remember he carried me and passed me through a window like 3 times. Like that was standard. Not because the windows were very big or anything, but that was a standard occurrence in Nathan's choir practice. Our headmaster was Mr. Kajura Chumuro. I remember those things of applying for schools of secondary when you are supposed to go to secondary school. I put my first choice in Gweranyanji Girls Secondary School. Not for anything else. Not because they were academically impossible. Not because of anything. Of course, all those things were just supplementary. But the main reason as to why I remember wanting to go to Gweranyanji Girls is how beautiful the girls in Gweranyanji were. I had a cousin called Diana Mucha. Woo! She had hair up to those ends as if Rapunzel. She was so cute. Whatever her skin is on point as if for a child's bum. I remember. She was so beautiful and she was in Gweranyanji Girls. I was like, hey, so if you want her to be a beautiful girl, you gotta go to Gweranyanji Girls Secondary School. So I applied in Gweranyanji. And another thing that took me to Gweranyanji, it was one of the schools that used to do music. They would sing. Mr. Ninomushuni Pison was the music teacher then. I know he changed. I put my first choice in Gweranyanji. I sat and waited. Let me tell you a story. Okay, I wasn't a dull child in school. Hello, you can't be stubborn and dull. Most stubborn kids actually not dull in school. So I wasn't so dull. I wasn't dull at all. I was not just above average. I was, there. But towards PLE, primary leaving examinations, towards that time, I don't know, I think when you're being a teenager, some things happen. You just get distracted from school. Then there was the choir. So there's that whole thing about my father not thinking that I'll actually pass P7. To the extent that, when you finish the year and you do your PLE, primary leaving examinations, your holiday is longer than the primary kids that stay in school the next year. So you're waiting for results to go to high school. So the other primary classes go back to school. So I was among those people who are told to repeat P7 before the results came, because my father didn't think that I had passed. And guess what? I was not offended, because I also knew how serious and unserious I was. So also didn't expect to pass primary. So while every other classmate of mine was in vacation, waiting for their results to come, their PLE results to come, so that they know which high school they'll go to, me, I just put on my uniform and went back to P7, because I was sure that however it is I had performed would not take me to Beranyanji, the school that I wanted. But alas, results came, and I didn't even know them. I was at school, but I didn't know them. When the results came, our headmaster, Mr. Kajura, called my father at work and said, "You not believe what your daughter has done. She has passed." I had 9. I remember I had a D2 in mathematics, a D2 in social studies, a D2 in English, but a credit 3 in sciences. So yeah. So I had passed, and I went back home, and everyone was looking at me with a side eye, only to be told that I was going to go to Beranyanji. So anyway, I was this short. I told you, my breasts came like when I was nearly 17 years old. I struggled. I used to move like this so that people can see my breasts. Anyway, story of another day. I go to Beranyanji, and Beranyanji was everything and so much more. The scripture union, Banange, the choir. I got to go to Kampala on the lorry, being hit by some lobblers. Bananga, I hope I have some OGs watching this so that they can comment and remind me some of the stories I've forgotten, so that I can actually tell them to you in the next episode. Beranyanji was so beautiful. That's why everything happened. The first time I thought I'd fallen in love, you know, those number mates from Ntare. Beranyanji girls used to date boys from Ntare school, and you'd find a boyfriend through streams. I don't know whether it's the same in other countries. So that if there's like a senior one in a girl's school, senior 1 class, there's also a senior 1 class in a boys' school. So you go on the register and know number 1 for this school is the boyfriend of number 2. Like they would pair up, not necessarily boyfriend or girlfriend, but you pair up. So we used to call them number mates. My number mates in Ntare didn't want to know my things. Why? Because I was like a boy up to like S3, S4, but as very hilarious, so I would have friends based on the fact that I am funny. Otherwise, the struggle of being a girl was so real for me in Beranyanji. Some of the teachers that I remember in Beranyanji that impacted in my life, of course, Mr. Nyinomujweni was teaching us music, and then we had now that's the thing. I remember only nicknames. There's Usually, there's Madume. Okay, that goes to say I wasn't a good student. I only remember nicknames of my teachers in high school. What does that say about me? I used to be a goalkeeper of our football team. I used to play netball. What didn't I do? I was miming. I remember my nickname in Ntare High School when I was in Beranyanji High School. My nickname in our boyfriend school, over our number mate school in Ntare, was Enyanya. Why? Okay, I think I was a maid. I was a house girl in a play that we acted, I think in S4, Livers Party, something. We used to do those, like interact, like debate, then you entertainment groups exchange from one school, then you go and do plays there. So I went to Ntare one time and did a play, and I was a house girl who kept on interrupting the marital duties of the main couple in the house, asking for tomatoes. Like every time they'd get a chance to be together, I'd be like, "Mama, do you want tomatoes?" So somehow I ended up being called Tomato in Ntare. So my first nickname in high school was Tomato. My best subject was music. I've been a performer from the beginning. I used to dance, sing. I remember I have a very nice memory of the set piece. There's a set piece that I performed in S6 in the music class. I did music, like I studied music theory. Used to play a tube fiddle, I'd play a xylophone, I'd play keyboard, but like with my fingers separated all over the place. So there's this, it's called How Beautiful. It was a set piece I did for my final exams, music, practicals in S6, and I got an A with flying colors. Like, how beautiful are the feet of them that preach the gospel of peace. gospel of peace. How beautiful are the feet of them that preach the gospel of peace and bring glad tidings, and bring glad tidings, glad tidings of good things, and bring glad tidings of good things, and bring. Anyway, it goes on and on and on. Of course, my voice now, so it's frog-like. I've been eating what during quarantine, really, for you to expect me to sing things of oh. So anyway, that's the piece I did for my senior 6 leavers examination, practical music. So even the same thing that had happened in primary, how they did not expect me to make it. I came with 19 points going to university. I had applied for music. I wanted to do Bachelor's of Arts in Music. I'd applied, but I didn't get the points that I was supposed to get. So my father had to pay for me to actually study at university, and I studied social sciences. And in my first year, I spent most of it, if not all of it, at the music department, because my heart was still into music. And that's when I actually ended up getting opportunities, work opportunities that I'm still using up to now. I know. This episode has been all over the place. I was jumping, talking about this, talking about this, talking about the other, but I know you caught up. I was just introducing myself to you, introducing my family to you, telling you which schools I went to, why. This is the first episode of the making of Kansiime, and it's an attempt of me doing my biography here on my YouTube channel, so that when I'm gone and I'm not around, nobody says what. Otherwise, this is me, my simple attempt trying to write a biography. If there's one thing COVID has taught me, you can't put off anything for tomorrow now, because you don't know what tomorrow really holds. Usually it's a saying, you never know what tomorrow holds, but this COVID is making it clear you actually do not know what tomorrow holds. Thank you so much for sitting. I know it's been a long one. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. We're about to make 1 million subscribers. And congratulations, my brother Eddie Kenzo. You dare it. You dare it. First Ugandan to make 1 million subscribers. And I'm coming, my brother. I'm coming. And when I do, I'm throwing a party. Am I lying?